No, Mom, I've told you, we're not a cult. Binge Watchers is not a cult of TV-loving serial killers who recreate murders from their favorite TV shows. No, that's just not us. Besides, we only killed that one guy because that episode of Dexter was just really good. She doesn't know. Welcome to Binge Watchers, where we talk about the stories and characters we love and the shows they live in. My name is Ron, and let's talk about Season 1 of The Following. The Following starts out as the generic story about an FBI agent who is the only man for the job. He's the only one who can do it, but he doesn't do it anymore because he's not an agent anymore, but now he has to come back. But that's like the first 20 minutes. After that, it evolves into a much more unique story about a cult of followers that will do pretty much everything for their leader, Joe Carroll. Joe Carroll is the serial killer that was originally taken down by FBI agent Ryan Hardy. Because of his intimate knowledge of Joe and his motives, Ryan is the most qualified person to go after Joe and his followers. So the show is mainly Ryan trying to figure out Joe's plan and trying to save as many people as he can in the process. To me, it felt like they took the generic TV, FBI, police, detective person and gave him a twist. A really good and interesting twist. And then you get Ryan Hardy. The first thing that I have to say about this show is that it is gripping. It's very cinematic. It always feels like watching a movie. The story is genuinely interesting and I thought very well told. Kevin Bacon as Ryan Hardy, I mean, you've seen this character before, the broken man haunted by his past, but he nails it here. I really loved him in this. You feel him hurting, and also if you've watched the show, then you know that he sort of has to have the traits of not an anti-hero, but a broken hero in order to fit into the story. The strange relationship between Joe and Ryan is fascinating, and while Ryan is very much the main character of the show is as much about Joe Carroll as it is about Ryan Hardy. Kind of like how Daredevil spent a lot of time with Wilson Fisk, which I also love. The character of Joe Carroll, he was good, but sometimes when you have an actor that plays a part like he was born for it, like Kevin Bacon as Ryan Hardy, it's very noticeable if the character opposite him is not as good. And I felt that Joe's character, while interesting, was just not as good as Ryan's. Joe just didn't feel as charismatic as I thought he should have been. The followers themselves also bring a lot of different things to the show, as they are all different from each other. They all have different personalities and motives. They all pose different kinds of threats. I liked how they weren't just carbon copies of each other. Obviously, this cult only recruits from like top-of-the-line modeling agencies because all of the named followers are ridiculously attractive. This might as well have been a CW show. But, you know, good-looking people murdering other good-looking people has become a pillar of television. Anyway, the fact that we get to know the followers and learn why they do some of the things they do was pretty awesome to me. Season 1 has 15 episodes, and there is a point somewhere in the middle where for a few episodes it feels like the same thing is just kind of happening over and over again, but I never really got bored with it, and I actually hardly touched my phone while watching this show, which is saying something. I'm gonna keep that in. Something else that I really liked about this show is the actual detective work. I liked watching them try to figure everything out. Every now and then they will use an overly convenient computer hacking kind of plot device in order to just move the story along. But other than just briefly rolling my eyes at those moments, it really didn't bother me all that much. There's plenty of action and chasing and shooting and fighting, which I thought was done well. A lot of murder all the time. So much murder in this show, all of the murder, all of the time. A lot of people have commented that they didn't like the show because it didn't feel realistic or didn't make a lot of sense, which is, you know, true to a point. I mean, it is a story. It felt like it made sense in the world of the show. They might have taken it a bit too far with how crazy, incompetent pretty much all of law enforcement is. Would it make sense in the real world? I don't know, probably not, but it's really not something that bothered me all that much. But it did bother a lot of other people and made it hard for them to connect with the show. Another complaint that I've read about the show is that it's predictable, which it might be a bit, but I don't think it's a big deal for this show. Because it's mostly about the cat and mouse between Ryan and Joe, and they keep telling you all of the time that the cult is everywhere and they could be anybody. So yeah, you fully expect some of the good guys to actually be bad guys. And they're pretty obvious about it too. I'm pretty sure intentionally. I like it when a season is a story on its own right and then the next season expands on that story while bringing in new stuff. And that's why I didn't love how this season ended, but I'm not gonna go further than that to avoid spoilers. Man, I really need to start making spoiler talk videos. Bottom line, should you watch it? If you like the crime drama, police show, serial killer, all that kinds of stuff, then I would say that this show is gonna be a good time. I felt that season 1 of The Following took a lot of things that we already know and are familiar with from other shows and either did them very well or did them differently, which is also kind of cool. It's all very cinematic and it's very well acted, especially Ryan Hardy's character, which I thought was pretty amazing. I'm watching season 2 right now. I have to say, kinda on the fence about it, kinda worried about it, but I'm gonna stick through it. It's available on Netflix. So let me know what you thought about The Following in the comments down below, and also tell me who is your favorite TV killer and favorite TV detective, FBI, police person. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps out a lot. And if you're finding Binge Watchers for the first time, welcome. I'd like to invite you to join the Binge Watchers community, where we talk about TV every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday with opinions and reviews and sketches and all kinds of great stuff, all for you fellow Binge Watchers and TV lovers. So you can go ahead and click that big subscribe button to join in on the fun, or you can check out any of the other videos on the channel. In any case, keep binging, and I will see you next time. Nailed it!